strike going on. Sorry, I just saw this and I had to laugh. It's like, how are you like anti pedophile, but also like anti writers strike? Like how
Wait.
how does that work? Like, I mean, seriously, like it's like who do you?
You should be
Yeah,
happy that the showbiz cabal is being brought to a standstill because the actors and the
yeah,
writers are striking. Like, yeah, very inconsistent belief system you got there, buddy.
it's absurd. Like this should not be. You should be 100% on board with what's going on. Like why wouldn't you? Also, Q, do we want to share in the room like a link to the YouTube or the
Yeah, we can go
Twitch?
ahead. Yeah, we can go ahead and share a YouTube link. I'm gonna give you just make sure that you're muted in there, all right? But I'm going to give you co-host privileges so you can drop links.
Sweet. Yeah. Hold
Yeah.
on.
But yeah, man.
Where to
Weaponized
begin?
therapy speak.
Mm-hmm.
Weaponized therapy speak. How do we feel about that?
I mean, look, I've always been a huge proponent of the actor Steven Seagal. Why is Steven Seagal his particular take on the matter, which I will share this now. It is one of the most. I think that he's always been correct about therapy
Yeah.
when saying that like therapists. Let's see.
Not like we're an audio program as well or anything. Nothing like
Yeah,
that.
no, I was gonna say.
Yeah, you know,
you could have just,
dead air.
you could have
It's
just
no
gone
big
with
deal.
Tom Cruise as your example of why therapy
Yeah.
doesn't work. I mean,
I know. I think look, Tom Cruise is doing great, man. He's still like acting. He's still
That
making
dude
good. He's still
had the
making good
biggest
movies.
cancellation bounce back in existence. I've never seen somebody who was so canceled bounce back that big.
Yeah, because he makes good movies. I'm sorry. Like it's so easy. Like
it's because he's a bona fide movie star,
yeah,
which
like
we don't really have many of anymore. So
I
that's why he
like
can get away with
yeah.
it.
For me, the thing that surprised me more was that Ezra Miller came back from cancellation. Like now, there's a
He
guy.
didn't exactly. His cancellation more or less depended on how well The Flash was going to do at the box office, and it fucking bombed. So I don't think he's not going to be getting any more movies. I'd be surprised if he did. Like, does he have anything coming down the pipeline? I don't know if he does.
No idea. I'd have to look at his Wikipedia. But yeah,
Bro, are you still looking for that
Well,
Steven
first
Seagal
of-
link? I think
Oh,
you
no,
gotta
first
use
of all-
I have it right here. No, I could just read it out. It's not like a link. It's just like
Okay.
So this is Steven Seagal pitching an idea for a skit on Saturday Night Live when he was the host.
Okay.
He had this quote. He had this idea that he's a therapist, and he wanted Victoria Jackson to be his patient who'd just been raped. And the therapist says, "You're
Jesus
going to have
Christ.
to you're going to have to come to me twice a week for like 3 years because," he said, "that's how therapists fucking are. They're just trying to get your money."
That was the joke?
Yeah. Well, no, the joke is that then he tries to have sex with her. No, Steven Seagal, maybe he was right about therapists. Not quite sure if I think his comedy chops might not be quite up.
yeah,
to,
no,
up to
not
par.
up to snuff. No, no. Well, I mean, I suppose the first question we should answer is: do we think that Jonah Hill was weaponizing therapy language?
Okay, so
I just think he's a
I think
very
we're pretty familiar with the whole Jonah Hill thing at this point, right? I don't think there's anybody like
about it.
nobody who has like an online account of any kind has not heard about the whole Jonah Hill fiasco.
By the
Do I
way,
think he's weaponizing therapy language? No, I don't think it's possible to weaponize therapy language.
Also, Q, do you want to share in the space link to the stream?
Oh, yeah, that would probably help, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we have this whole visual aspect where you can see all of us. Me just
Yeah,
soaked in
That
sweat.
would definitely be helpful. But yeah, it's not possible to weaponize therapy language.
Yeah, no, he's just annoying.
Well, you don't see anybody who says that my therapist said. they use words like toxic, they use words like gaslighting, they use words like healing, they use all this like wellness speak, but they're not actually using therapy speak. So they're not talking about, for example, like the super. They're not talking about narcissism as like a baby yearning for the affection of its mother. They're not talking about any of that. They're talking about narcissists as like people who are self-centered and abusive, right? So it's the type of language that people have used to make themselves sound like they know what they're talking about, and they really don't. It's the same way that like I don't know, like communists, leftists, whatever, will like log on and start talking about ceasing the means of production, or like the murder of the kulaks and the petty bourgeoisie. It's like you don't really know what you're talking about. The only time that I've ever seen therapy weaponized online is when people are using therapy speak to tell somebody else that they have to go to therapy. So like I don't know if you remember like the whole like black man in therapy thing last year. Y'all remember that? Remember how like everybody was saying that black men need to go to therapy? Or actually no, here's a better one. Men would rather blank than go to therapy.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Men would rather like conquer the Cisalpine Gaul than go to therapy.
Yeah, which we would, which is why we're better. Like, I don't know why people were using it as like a bad thing.
Or
men would rather live successful lives than go to therapy all the time, and just like occasionally have a meltdown on Twitter.
Yeah, men would rather be at peace.
Jonah Hill, men would literally rather go to therapy than go to therapy.
Yeah. So regardless, so we already know about the case, and we already know about the text messages. I don't know if people know about the text messages that she was sending. That is that Sarah Brady that she was sending, because I think everyone just saw Jonah Hill's initial messages, right? So I'm gonna pull up a video because I think that everybody saw the couple of messages that she released at first on her IG. She screenshot the messages, put them up on her Instagram, on the live feed, and then Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, everything fucking exploded because Jonah Hill was everybody's ex-boyfriend. Let me pull this one up real quick. This actually pissed me off. I think this was like the weaponizing of therapy speak.
I'm sorry, but Jonah Hill just kind of has the face of an abuser. He looks like he'd smell like one too. The texts that are coming out about Jonah Hill are so disgusting, and they remind me of my relationship with my second boyfriend, who was both emotionally and physically abusive. He would often weaponize language against me, as well as gaslight me, cut me off from all of my friends. Mm-hmm. By the end of the relationship with him, I was completely alone. And the text that he sent his girlfriend, or now ex-girlfriend, Sarah Brady, this list of demands that's masquerading as boundaries if you want to be with him, this is what he sent his ex-girlfriend, plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past, beyond getting lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you.
Okay, can we? One thing,
you
can
can
I
finish
say?
reading it if you want.
But ultimately, can we just pause it. Yeah. I do like the fact that his idea of like her wild recent past is just like fucking Jackson Hinkle. Like that's like that's awesome, Jonah. That's cool. I
don't know, man. If your girl was if her ex was Jackson Hinkle, you wouldn't have some concerns about boundaryless behavior.
Dude, I mean, like what?
Like, next thing you know, your girlfriend could be like, she could be like catching like a car bomb intended for like Darya Dugina. You never know.
I mean, it's got to be annoying to be Jackson Hinkle's like girlfriend, because you just have to like sit and listen to like so much stuff about like the Russian-Ukraine war. Like that's gotta be so boring after a while. Like, like who cares, man? Like I don't know.
You have to listen to him desperately try to be Haas, knowing he never will be.
Dude, are they still like? I feel like they don't really like. They don't chat anymore. Which is
I'm pretty sure they're still. I think they're still.
I mean, they're still friends, but they're not really. Yeah. They're not really like collabing in the ways that they used to, which is sad. I feel like Haas really needs to get back to streaming more regularly. I think the biggest problem is he spends all his time on Twitter, and that's like the worst platform for Haas. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the
it's
worst platform, period. I mean,
it's the worst
look at
platform, period. But
it's the worst
All
platform.
right. Okay.
Look at where we ended
Before
up.
we get distracted.
No, I was gonna try and reel us back by saying, look at where we
That's
ended
all right.
up.
I'm
yeah,
reading us
no.
back right now.
Anyway,
Okay.
like, do you think that
So-
Jackson Hinkle and like
No, we're
Sarah
not
Brady
talking
they
about-
broke up?
We're not talking
They-
about
they-
Jackson Hinkle, bro.
No, we're talking about Haas.
We're not talking about Haas either.
Haas anymore either. We're back
Bring it back to Jonah Hill, my boy.
I'm
Go back to
railing it
playing
back.
this awful this awful dysgenic gay guy talking about his like stupid ex.
That's what we're here for.
Ex-boyfriend.
That's what we're here for.
That was the main problem with this whole situation, right? Everyone just decided that Jonah Hill was their abusive ex.
Ex-boyfriend.
So,
Let's
and
go.
abuse ran the gamut. Like abuse just
Yeah.
stood in
All
for
right, let's-
any
let's-
shitty behavior.
Let's finish this.
Ultimately,
Awful
this type of
video.
behavior is what isolates people, having had this done to me firsthand. If you let abusers get away with this type of behavior, before long, you're not doing anything. You're not leaving the house. You're not posting pictures with your friends because you don't have friends anymore. And it sounds like he's literally trying to take away her career too, trying to make her so small. Sexual misconduct allegations came out from Alexa Nicholas from Zoe 101, talking about how he knew that she was 16 years old and how he honestly kind of forced himself on her. She recounts the story of the party that she was at when she was 16. Jonah Hill came over at some point and we were all pretty wasted because, of course, the predators were feeding us minors a bunch of alcohol. He then tells her that he doesn't want to go outside alone and she needs to come get cigarettes with him. Jonah didn't hand me the cig, which I thought was weird. And then as we walked back to the door, I asked him for it and he said nothing but slammed me to the door and shoved his tongue down my throat. I was so appalled, I pushed him off and ran inside. This is just so disgusting. What's wild is the 80 Club had this write-up and they talk about how this was Justin Long's party, and Justin Long was recently in this movie called Barbarian where he played a predator. So Nicholas called this out, saying, "Hey, Justin Long, I find it interesting you being a barbarian as a predator. It must have been weird playing some of your friends. You knew your roommate was..."
Like, first off, this guy looks like shit, man. Like, maybe his partner was maybe his partner was right to keep him from going out. Like, dude, shave your beard. It looks like crap.
Jesus, Roy.
It looks like garbage, dude. Get that awful like scrag out of there, man. If you can't grow a full beard, like just leave it.
When did being a jerk who sends treatises as texts become abuse? When did that happen? Somebody needs to explain to old ass me, like when, like, yeah, okay, you may not like the way he asked it, but guess what? Sarah Brady isn't some delicate object who has no agency. She could have said no.
Here's the thing.
She could have broken up. Yeah. She could have broken up with him. She could have been like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna change who I am for you. Peace out."
I will say I do love the like that in that Alexa Nichols thing where she's like, Jonah was like, I shouldn't go alone outside. Like, why? Why? Like, why not? Like, that's such a weird
here's one thing though.
What?
Okay, here's something that really kind of bugged me about that entire thing, right? Because everybody just jumped right to like he's being manipulative, he's being controlling, and so on. And I'm sorry, you can't listen to none of these birds for anything. Because, okay, for example, there was a lady that posted up a tweet, and it was just it was supposed to be, I think, like a little funny tweet between her and her like a few hundred followers. And what she was saying was that after the slog of like cleaning and like child minding and working and everything else, this lady just wanted to get a little break, so her husband went off to the grocery store, and the punchline was that he's called her 5 times to double check he's got the right thing. Right now,
you're missing a detail. He took the toddler, and she has.
He took the toddler. Yeah, he took the toddler. She was there with the newborn. He called her like 3 times to double check that he had the right items. Okay, now everybody leaped on that and called it weaponized incompetence. Like the whole dump him sis brigade. They I don't know who sent up the signal flare. Every fucking miserable woman on social media showed up to tell this lady that her husband was manipulating her, abusing her, and weaponizing his incompetence. But here's the problem. Weaponized incompetence is the exact opposite of that. Weaponized incompetence is if he'd have gone to the grocery store, deliberately come back with the wrong things, and does that often enough that it pisses her off so bad that she's like, fuck it, fine, I'll just go ahead and do it myself. I will go to the grocery store, don't worry about it. That is weaponized incompetence. It's also not therapy speak. That's just a word that we've made up.
Yeah, well, that is. I mean, like, let's be honest. Therapy speak is just like
It's
the
HR
idea.
speak.
Well,
I feel like therapy
it's all the
speak is-
same. Honestly, like, here's the thing: if you go to therapy, don't talk about it. I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sick of hearing about therapy. Just don't talk about it. Like, you know, like you don't have to talk about your doctor's appointment. You know, you don't
Here's the
have
thing.
to,
Here's the thing. The people who go on social media and say, you know, my therapist said, they're fucking lying. Every single time, it's my therapist said that my greatest weakness is that I am too selfless. I give too much of myself away to everyone, and I have nothing left for myself. I try so hard I'm a big people pleaser. I try so hard to make everybody happy, and I've got nothing left for myself. It's always stuff that makes people look like martyrs, like that makes them look good. Or the people that they happen to hate, it's usually guys. The people that they happen to hate are usually like a safe subject for the therapist to completely fucking bag on. Even though like most therapists are not going to talk like that. I say most because I have to account for the TikTok ones, but therapists generally do not talk like that. They show your prejudices.
As an attorney, I feel like therapists are now like they've overtaken us as the most just completely discredited practice.
Oh, just a loathed profession.
Licensed professionals online. Like it's just they're just complete like. And I love the way that people are like, well, this guy's a registered therapist, so all of your questions, like if you have any concerns about this, consider them answered. It's like no, like that's just
No.
Like no, like
the last person I would
again,
trust is a TikTok therapist.
Again,
it's the last person on earth.
Yeah.
Like, you're a TikTok therapist? Okay, I'll disregard everything.
Like Steven Seagal said, all they want to do is like take your money for 30 years, and he's right. He's right. I'm sorry. He's right. I mean, he went to therapy for a while, and look how he turned out. So right? It's like the amount of clout chasing that's going on in therapy right now, or in the therapist world, is insane. Like we need to kick therapists off of social media.
Here's the thing: if I go into my therapist's office, right? And granted, I don't have to ask this question because we've already established he doesn't. But if I go to my therapist's office and I find out that he's got like a TikTok account, I'm finding somebody else. I'm asking for a referral. Sorry, buddy. It's over. Yeah. As a matter of fact, if you haven't been to a therapist and you're thinking of going, during the intake process, because usually the first appointment is when they ask you a lot of questions about yourself to make a determination as to how it is, what your goals are, how you want to be treated, what it is that you're looking to accomplish through the course of therapy. But you should ask a few intake questions of your therapist, starting with, A, what do you think of the terms gaslighting? We think of the terms gaslighting, toxic masculinity, and weaponized incompetence. Another question, do you have a TikTok
trauma dump?
Do you have,
Trauma dump.
Trauma dumping. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And emotional labor, don't forget that.
Emotional labor, yeah. Ask them to define emotional labor for you.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if you ask a therapist to define emotional labor, and they say, "I don't know," that's a therapist for you. You sign them on the spot. Just sign whatever contract they offer you. Just sign them, because the actual good ones are few and far between now. They're all chasing clout on TikTok.
Yeah. No. It's basically, I think, again, My general take on this will always stay the same, and that is that Jonah Hill did the worst thing a man can possibly do. What he did was he was a bad boyfriend, but a bad boyfriend in such a way that it was not only like extremely humiliating in retrospect, but also it's sort of banal and boring. Mm-hmm. It's like not like he asked you to take down bikini pictures of yourself and you did it. It's like, well, that's oh, that's so terrible that he was so insecure that he asked you to do that. And it's like, yeah, that's true. Like, or maybe it is. I don't know. But at the same time, you also did it, and he did ask. Like, there was no, it wasn't like, I'm gonna beat you up if you don't take down those pictures. No, he just asked, and you
Yeah.
complied with it, and now and then he still broke up with you, whatever, how many months later, right? So you're left. The thing that, again, he's a bad boyfriend. Maybe a very insecure boyfriend, but not in such a way that anybody would really want to hear about it. Like, it's not transformationally bad, right? He's not this horrible, like, he's bouncing her off the countertops, nothing interesting that you could even write like a thought piece about. He's just boring. It's like, wow, cool. Like, I don't care. And that's the worst thing you can do to a woman as a guy is because you haven't given her anything. You've given her nothing to work with. She can't even be like a good victim. Like, it's just embarrassing and depressing. And yeah,
I think you're heading in an innovative direction in the content era, I suppose, because I think this is the first time that we have an instance of someone whose transgression is entirely, like, whose abuse is like entirely from a distance. Like, I don't think the abuse was like happening, in, I don't know,
No,
if it happened in person. It was purely in the in the
we
realm
have
of
no
text.
idea. We have no idea whether they discussed these subjects before, right? There could have been other texts. There could have been other conversations, right? All we have are these snapshots, and what everybody did is just ran in and started projecting their lived experience onto these texts, not asking any questions like, why did she hold on to them for so long? Why did she release them now? Which, she came out and clarified she was waiting for his new girl to have a baby, which I think is psychotic to do that. Like, you've been sitting on these texts for a year and a half.
Oh,
like,
stick a pin in that. We're gonna circle back.
You deliberately waited 9 months, like, to do this, or however many months. Like, that's and I mean, let's face it, the automatic assumption that because he's a man, just because he's a man, he therefore has more power in the relationship. I'm like, so women have no agency. We're just delicate objects that men act upon, and all we can do is react. And that's, what did I say? What did I say in the group chat? Men get to have agency, women get to enforce boundaries. And that's why the boundary subject set everybody off, that he described them as boundaries. Well, men aren't supposed to have boundaries.
I love how fourth wave feminism has basically just relegated women to the role of like passive airheads. Mm-hmm. You can't make any decisions for yourself. Here's the thing. The texts that were shared, I'm trying to find them right now, but the texts that were shared the first time around were, I think, pretty straightforward. In which he says, like, I don't appreciate you having like boundary-less relationships with men, friendships with men, friendships with women who are up to whatever kind of behavior I completely forget. That she's like posting, racy Instagram pictures and so on. Here's what I think that people are kind of missing. When you get into a relationship with somebody, you're going to end up behaving differently than you were when you were single.
Exactly.
So I have no idea what it was that she was saying or doing with these guys that she had these quote unquote boundaryless relationships with. But I think everybody can pretty much understand it from this point of view. Let's say that like you have a day job in an office, right? You live with your girlfriend. Y'all have been together for like let's call it like 2 years, okay? You got a day job at the office, and when you go to the office, you have a work wife, And let's say that one day your work wife brings you like a nice little mini cheesecake that she made at home. How do you think your girlfriend would feel about that? A, that you call her a work wife, and B, that she's making you tasty food to bring home. Or let's take it a step further. Let's say that you have same situation. You've got a girlfriend. Y'all been together for 2 years. You live together and everything, and you say that you want to go out to the club one night. Okay. Now, she says, hey, just hang on a second. I'm going to head off to the bathroom. You're, waiting for your drinks. She comes out of the bathroom and she sees you like dancing on another woman. Is she not going to have a few thoughts about that, about this boundary? Or is she not going to have a few issues with boundaries here? What if the woman that she sees you dancing with happens to be the work wife? You know what I mean? Like you can't do the same things in a relationship that you did when you were single. So I'm just wondering, like, how is it that everybody was missing? How did everyone miss the boat on that one? Because I think deep down everybody knows that like you just behave differently when you're in a relationship versus when you're single.
Yeah, I mean, there's been this very weird reaction to this where it's like, well, boundaries are between you and your partner. Whereas demands are between your partner and other people, which is very weird.
Bullshit. Yeah. Bullshit.
That's weird. It doesn't make sense.
That shit was weird too. And the funny thing is,
Yeah.
you see how quickly people got jammed up on that one?
Yeah, it was like,
Okay,
well,
so when people say, for example, that our boundaries are something that you place for yourself and not for other people. No, that's what women do, right? Or that's what that women say that men are able to do. Women can enforce boundaries that extend beyond themselves. Here's an example of this. If I have, let's say, a friend that I have like a sexual history with. So, you know, before like my partner and I are together, I have like a sexual relationship that doesn't quite work out into a relationship, so we decide to stay friends. But after my partner and I get together, my partner says to me, I'm not sure how comfortable I am with you two still being friends and just being so like friendly and kikiing and staying up late texting each other. It bothers me a little bit because you two have history. Everybody understands that what you do in that situation, especially if you're in a long-term relationship, you're engaged, you're married, the correct answer to that is, hey, you know what? I'm very sorry about that. I didn't mean to cause you any discomfort. I will let her know that we have to put some distance between us. That's normal shit. This happens to everybody. So yes, there are boundaries that your partner can enforce on you. Everybody understands it when a woman does it. If she has a problem with you, like I said, well, if you've got somebody that you have a sexual history with, if there's, let's say, a male friend that you hang out with who might be a bad influence on you, she doesn't like the two of you hanging out. It's even extends to work now. Like I have seen so many like TikTok videos, YouTube videos, people posting on social media, etc. And people I've talked to in real life when they say, I don't like my boyfriend's job. I don't like my husband's job. He should be more ambitious than that. And they will straight up give ultimatums. You need to do better. You need to level up. That is enforcing a boundary. Look at a boundary this way. There's a range of activities that you're allowed to have when you're in a relationship. There's a range of activities that you might not be allowed to have. Now, whatever that range of activities is, however big or small, you pretty much negotiate over that. But there's definitely a line between what is acceptable to your partner in the relationship and what is not acceptable in the relationship. What do you call that dividing line? And I saw somebody the other day trying to answer that question, and they said common sense.
A boundary.
It's a fucking boundary. Hantological Nidro, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. My thing is that like the stuff they were bitching about for Jonah Hill is something that I, as a person who's been dating women my entire life, have been seeing from women my entire life. And if it's abusive, fine, it's abusive. But I have been seeing this as normal my entire life, aimed at men. You go to the club, we're 19, 20, we're going to the club, we're going out. Hey, bro, you coming? Nah, my girl said I can't go to the club because there's going to be women there. And I've heard that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was psychotic. But apparently that was not. It got to the point where I was like, I was a late bloomer. I didn't get my first girlfriend until I was 22. And a lot of guys made me not want to deal with them at all, like in a relationship, because they were downright dealing with abuse. I'm talking physical, mental, emotional, all types of.
Oh, women out here will brag that they can beat men's asses.
That was the other
on
side
daily,
of the conversation.
on this app.
Yeah. That was the other side of the conversation that wasn't discussed at all, which pissed me off. Was like, yeah, women can be demanding and abusive too. And I was like, why is this always this assumption that it's always everything is on men? It's always all on men. And I was just like, I'm sorry, I see women talk shit on men on Twitter daily. Every single day, and emasculate them and belittle them and do it to their partners. And I'm just like, are we just going to pretend that this doesn't exist? Because it absolutely does.
Well, and I think in
I was
addition,
going around. I
yeah.
got to the point where I was going around posting threads full of women openly admitting to I did this, I did that, I did this, into these these accounts where all they talk about is abuse, and they're supposed to be GV specialists and all of this stuff. And I'm sitting here.
Yep.
Do you see this? Do you see? Are you seeing this? Like this thread is in the thousands. And they was just, yeah, I beat his ass and and I do this and my grandmama did this and my mama did this, like detailing it out and like.
Oh yeah, talking about how like their grandma like whopped their granddad over the head with a cast iron pan, shit like that. You know that's how their granddad cheated on grandma and she stabbed him at the juke joint. Yeah, I've seen those. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think one big thing. Yeah. Well, like especially with this, like this sort of weaponization of therapy language, because that's, I guess, the way people are putting it. That's a woman thing. Only women are allowed to do that, right? I think that is the reality of it. Like, unfortunately,
yeah.
and you see it all the time, right? Where it's, people will come out and say like, well, like when you get into an argument, it's like I felt terrified around him. My personal favorite was actually from the Jonah Hill text. Is at one point she comes out, this Sarah Brady girl, and it's like, he used to scare me so much that our couples therapist, which by the way, side note, also don't go to couples therapy apparently. That's just it's gonna come out like that's. The couple, like
I think you should. I think couples therapy can be healthy, but again, you have to be on the same page.
Well, the thing is,
look your therapist up on Twitter first.
Yeah.
Well,
on Twitter, don't go.
Again, yeah, it's like I said. You got to ask during the intake process. They're asking you a bunch of questions, but you got to ask them some questions too. One of those questions has to be: do you have a TikTok account? Do you have a Twitter account?
Yeah.
If they say yes to either of those things, just get up and walk right the fuck out.
Well, one thing but just to add to that, one thing that she accused him of is that apparently, he was so scary when he argued that we would have, the couples therapy person had like a safe word that we would use, where if we were arguing, we would say it, and if he was getting too angry, I would say it, and then we would have like time to cool off, which I think is a common thing that they do in couples therapy, where it's like, like if you're getting into a stupid argument, which every couple gets into a stupid argument from time to time, you have a word which you just say, and then it's like, all right, cool, we'll just go cool off, and then we come back, like we circle back in like an hour, right? And then we talk this out normally, like normal people. But again, the reason why I say, honestly, maybe don't, depending on who you're dating, like don't go to couples therapy, because like if it's going to come out, unfortunately, that could be used against you, right? Like what you say in couples therapy could come out, right? Again, this is part of the like if this is the future we're going towards, right, where this sort of thing becomes more common, these sorts of, again, like turning boyfriend, like basic boyfriend girlfriend disputes into abuse.
I want to read some. Hold on, I want to read some of these texts because like I went to her IG. Here's the thing: whenever you go to somebody's Instagram, right, and you tap on their live, like on their photo, and it's got like the live photos on it. You see how it'll usually have like dashes at the very top to let you know like how far along you are.
Yeah, and it looks like Morse code. Like, it looks like you're about to, it looks like you're like a fucking telegraph officer.
If it looks like your cat hopped up on your desk and laid their tail down on the period button, fucking run.
You're like the Carpathia's telegraph officer on like April 14th. You're like, what the hell's going on over there?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here's some gems. Okay, so. What Jonah Hill says, screenshotting intimate text between us is a huge triggering violation for me and a breach of trust as a friend, as I've explained to you about breaches of trust I've had between trusted friends recently that have caused me trauma. I'm incredibly hurt and feel a lack of safety where I've always trusted you. I'm sorry if a former partner is moving on. It's painful, and I empathize with that.
No.
You got walk with me here, okay? But I have done nothing wrong, and if I wasn't a public person, I wouldn't face this kind of violation. And having shared that with you, and then watching you be like this today, shatters my ability to trust anybody even further. I've always shown you kindness and support. Okay?
He's saying too much, man.
Hold up. Hear this.
Part of me waited until after she had given birth.
Hold up, but before we go into this, what is this?
Not right.
This is her leaving like a voice note. on her IG.
Yeah. So this is Sarah Brady, right?
This is Sarah Brady right now. Yeah.
Part of me like waited until after she had given birth, like not right after, but like a little bit after, so that his current fiance and the mother of his child, Olivia, would. I just hoped like she would receive some of these screenshots somehow through friends, like friends of mine that I met through him, that I know are good people and I know would make an effort to protect her. Like, I didn't want her to have to see all of this while she was pregnant because I didn't know what kind of stress that would cause on her and her baby, like physically and everything. And I'm sure the timing can seem bad, like, oh yeah, I like waited until he had a kid, but like, I waited until she had her baby. So I knew they were like physically not impacted by me sharing this shit, and she could be informed and make an informed decision of how she wants to care for herself and her baby, which she birthed and she created. Yes, it's his child, but that is that woman's infant. That's how I see it.
Look, all I'm saying is that like if
Absolutely
Sarah Brady,
mental.
if Sarah Brady ever gets like if she ever goes through a divorce process, like I would love that. Like if that comes up in the child support, it's like I should really be only paying like 25% of child support.
Hold on. Hear this though. Okay, so like, not long after their back and forth that they were having over text, and I'm not sure if the live is still up. Like I think all of these text messages might have disappeared by now.
Yeah.
But there was something that she said where it's like, okay, absolute bullshit. I'm calling horseshit on that right now. Okay, he says, "I'm sorry if my honest attempt at friendship didn't align with your idea of correct boundaries of friendship, and mostly I'm just sorry you're upset. I receive and respect your feelings and will absolutely learn a lesson from your feelings based on this experience." She says, "Good luck to you in your speed search for a wifey. Hit me up when you can be a real homie, not a baby boy game player, conscious or not."
What language is this? None of these words.
I don't fucking know. This makes
None
no
of these
sense to me
words are in the
whatsoever.
garage,
Look, here's the
okay?
thing. I'm gonna be honest with you guys on this one. Like this, there's a lot of talk about like, oh, you shouldn't date like a 25-year-old because there's like power dynamics. It's like no, like don't date a 25-year-old because they talk like this.
Because they talk exactly like this.
Like, what the fuck is
this? Is
this?
exactly why.
Like what?
Apparently there's
What does
an
that
issue with
mean?
the audio in the Twitter space.
Oh, the Twitter space is silent? Oh, my bad.
Mhm.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. All right, are we back on? Can everybody hear us?
It doesn't look like it.
Emote if you can hear us. Anyway,
yeah. Again, guys, we also are streaming on YouTube and Twitch, so please go to that. You can see us, which is nice. This is kind of a weird.
Oh no! Somehow it ended.
Yes.
I have no idea how the Twitter space just ended. Oh well, we'll keep it moving.
Here, so just share a link to the YouTube.
Yep, sharing a link to the YouTube right now.
And we'll retweet that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a bit of a weird, kind of hybrid system. But yeah, no, I think. No, I think that look, all of this is ridiculous, right? Like, again, this is just what.
If you were having like a brain scan just then, you would have flatlined, bro.
Well, I'm trying to like get the.
I got it. Yeah, it was just a head empty moment. That's all.
Yeah, if we have like the actual official link. Anyway, regardless of the fact. No, I think that all of this, like, let's be honest. Let's be real here, right? This is just her like getting revenge. I don't think it's very. There were a lot of people who were very stupidly trying to say that this is nothing to do with revenge, which is wrong, right? Like, it's very clearly done to get her own back, right? Like I don't like the way we all have to pretend that this is like being motivated by her trying to, inform Jonah Hill's current girlfriend, fiance. I guess they're engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no, this is not anything other than an attempt to get her back, and it's so you can even tell how transparent
You
it
can
is.
taste it.
You can when she even that like that Instagram or that like Instagram post that she made where it's her talking about this. Like, you can tell how mad she is. This is not.
Yeah, it's vindictive.
It's of course it's vindictive.
Like saying, "I hope this reaches her." Like, okay, you want to get to this new woman, like.
Why? What's the point?
Like she just had a baby, as if having a baby, like the aftermath of having a baby isn't difficult in and of itself as well. Like, oh, I didn't want to impact the pregnancy. Oh, you think the immediate aftermath of giving birth is a cakewalk? Really? Like, no, you did this deliberately,
by the way, Melanie,
and you
that's her
calculated
baby.
it.
She formed that baby in her body.
Yeah, like I was saying,
she knitted
Yeah.
its soul together.
Yeah,
here's my take on
virgin
this.
birth.
If you are
Total
Sarah
immaculate conception,
Brady's,
apparently.
if you're Sarah Brady's future partner or spouse, and you have to figure out child support, I feel like you should really only have to pay 25% using that line. Like, well, you know.
I would say
Yeah,
never text with Sarah Brady.
Well, I mean, I would.
That's the thing that initially pissed me off, because I am adamant on this. I don't believe you should ever post personal text. Oh, what about naming and shaming abusers? Please list for me the number of abusers that have gone to prison with criminal charges for their abuse because of releasing text messages.
Yeah, no, I mean, what it is it's a control mechanism, and honestly, I would go as far as to say it's in and of itself like a method of control, right? Again, the reality is, like, if this is sort of the prevailing matter, what you're going to end up seeing ultimately is celebrities beginning to treat relationships the way the mafia treats talking about criminal. No, it's just like, oh, like, we will only talk about this in person.
In person, yeah.
In person.
You have to be like, you got to be like Stringer Bell in The Wire, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where it's like
when Stringer Bell had everybody together in that room, and he saw the one dude.
Yeah, like, don't take
being
notes.
a bit of a keener,
trying to criminal fucking conspiracy.
My nigga, are you taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how you have to. You gotta be cold blooded. You gotta be cold blooded. You can't send text messages to any.
No.
Here's the thing. I already learned this where it comes to like people that I know from social media, but you generally have to just extend this policy to pretty much everybody now, right? Like, there's no loyalty anymore. There's no loyalty. It's not gonna come from your friends. Man, it may not even come from your family. You just gotta be really fucking careful about what you say over text. Be traced bad to you, because like, these people do not care about your own personal boundaries, about trust, loyalty, none of that. What they care about is, I was about to say it's clout farming, but it's really not that. Here's what I don't know exactly what was going on with this lady, because remember how she said that she waited because she didn't want to distress Jonah Hill's girlfriend, Olivia, what's her name? Now here's exactly what happened. She saw what Keke Palmer's boyfriend did, tweeting about what she was wearing out to the Usher concert, and the fact that she let him serenade her, and everybody jumped down this dude's throat, made him like delete his account and everything. She saw that shit and she's like, oh, it's game time. She was ready to cook at that moment. That's why she released a text. It had nothing to do, because the pregnancy, they had their baby back in early June. It had nothing to do with that. She wasn't waiting because of the pregnancy. She was waiting for her moment. Here's the thing. If she'd have just released those texts out of nowhere, like without the Keke Palmer discourse precursor, if that shit had just come out of nowhere, let's say that she released a text back in like May of 2023. Keep in mind, these texts are from from December of 2021, which is when they had that conversation about he wasn't comfortable with her posting racy pictures on IG and being around certain dudes. And here's the thing, like, he's dating a surfer. Like, yeah, she's gonna be hanging out with guys that are a little bit on the sketchy side, and girls that do drugs and drink a lot. That's just, if you're around surfer culture, that's what it's like. That was in December 2021. By August of 2022, it seemed that they were broken up. And he was saying by that point that it was like 6 months on. So they must have broken up in like around maybe like February, March of 2022, right? So they're having a conversation in August where she's upset at how fast he had moved on, and texted him and said, "Hey, tell your publicist that this isn't me." It was a picture of Jonah Hill kissing his then girlfriend, who is now the mother of his child. Tell your publicist this isn't me. The entire conversation that they were having had nothing to do with his emotional abuse or enforcement of boundaries she never agreed to. It wasn't about none of that. It was about how fast he had moved on to his next girl. Because she was talking to him, she was mentioning to him that they had like racy texts, that they were sexting each other. He's like, "What are you talking about? We haven't sexted each other in like 6 months." And she brings up a text that he had sent possibly like 2 months earlier. It was obscured, so you couldn't see what was in it. He's like, "Okay, fine, 2 months." But he was just with this new girl, right? So it might have been like 2 months, could have been as little as 1 month. Hey, could have been a couple of weeks, could have been the day before. What she was mad about was how quickly he moved on. Had nothing to do with the boundaries he was enforcing on their relationship before that.
She was actually pointing out that it was cruel of him to let her keep hope alive while he moved on. She actually mentions that she still had hopes for the relationship, which suggests that, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know if you'd have hopes for an abusive relationship that ended months and months ago, like months later.
No, Karthik. Hey, Karthik, how dare you? No, see,
He's a Machiavellian Svengali. She was under a spell. She had absolutely no say in the matter. Yeah, exactly.
She had Stockholm syndrome. She
also,
yeah.
And I have to say this. I don't know if you put it together. Like, if you do the math, they were together for about like 6 months overall. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Why are we talking about a 6 month long?
More time has lapsed since they broke up than the amount of time that they were together. You're right.
Why are you going to couples therapy 3 months into a relationship?
Yeah, what the
no kidding. That's what I want.
Like, again, here's the bigger problem that we need to address, and that is like there's too much therapy. Everybody is too like you're overdosing on therapy. No, like you don't need to go to. It's 3 months into a relationship. You really don't need to go to college.
If you find that you're not right,
if you already need to go to therapy 3 months into a relationship, I would say yes. That's not a great sign.
Then you're not in a relationship. That's
I get preempting that, like, you know, you don't want to just like. I could see, like, you know, maybe having like couples therapy is nice to have. That way, you know, you don't just start going as soon as there's like a problem in your relationship. Like, you can maybe see these problems off, but within 3 months of dating, like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, again, and Jonah Hill, you know, here's like, people are like, "Oh, you're siding with Jonah Hill." No, by the way.
Yeah,
the only thing I like, Jonah Hill is the most annoying man in the world.
Care about Jonah Hill.
It's not even that. It's like he talks like
terrible actor.
Every time
very
he
annoying.
talks. Every time he talks, I just want to like, I'm just like, kill me now. Just kill me. I don't want to listen to this guy talk.
Very bad. Very bad actor.
He talks.
Very annoying.
Again,
big loser.
Yeah, no, he's like, he has annoying therapy talk. Like, that's his thing. And people are like,
he writes essay. He, like, automatic disqualifier for any man. You write essay text, like.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like this was a really triggering and traumatizing event for me. Shut up! Shut up! God damn it, dude! Stop talking like a fucking woman. Holy shit!
On some level, I feel like, you know, having couples therapy 3 months in is like one of those celebrity things that kind of, to me, sounds similar to the guy who's 50 years old and he's drinking his son's blood or something like that, who's been in the news. Like, that's how alien this is to me. Like, do you know who I'm talking about? The guy who's like drinking his son's blood, or like doing whatever, like something with his son to stay young or something like that. It's like one of those celebrities
to try to epigenetically regress his age. Yes, Brian, whatever his name is.
He's being a vampire. So like, it's kind of like
the guy who claims that he's 18 but looks like a 51-year-old gay accountant on like a Carnival cruise ship. Yeah.
But like, how different is that from like going to therapy 3 months in with a person who's like, for clearly finding out that you guys aren't working out? Like, 3 months in, you should probably be able to be like, okay, this is actually not working out. I don't know why we're fucking even doing this. As opposed to being like, okay, now maybe if we go to couples therapy, we can probably do something like we can
Is
save our marriage like Michelle and Barack Obama did or something.
Is this like what celebrities do ever since they like locked up Epstein? Like this sucks, man. Like I'm gonna say that like going to like a shitty version of like a Syrian temple in like the Bahamas is cool. Like it probably sucked. That probably wasn't that much fun either. But like,
is this why all the Hollywood movies?
Dude.
Is this why all the Hollywood movies have sucked ever since they locked up?
Like I said, like they have not been coming out with good Hollywood movies since they locked up
Harvey Weinstein.
They locked up Weinstein, dude. Like it's every Hollywood movie that's come out has been so bad. You watch it, you sit down, you go, you pay $57 to go see a Hollywood movie now. It is just the most soulless, miserable, grating experience you've ever.
I think
it's awful. You're like, I can just tell that not a single pedophile has had their hands in the creative.
You are forgetting.
Not a single sex pervert had anything to do with
Shakespeare in Love. Okay, I'm sorry. Like
was that the one?
That was the Weinsteins. Yeah.
You're forgetting the Weinsteins. It was better than anything that's come out recently.
Yeah, listen, Shakespeare in Love is better than whatever the fuck the Willy Wonka prequel is gonna be.
Right? It's gonna be a million times better.
I will swear by Shakespeare in Love. I'll like admit.
Dude, I would take gritty Willy Wonka, like enslaving Oompa Loompas or whatever that trailer was. Like
okay, so you'll take a fictional pedophile over a real one, is what you're saying.
I would rather watch Southland Tales.
Yes.
Southland Tales, if it came out today, would be like the best movie they've ever released. People would be like, "Oh wow, like this is so deep." Like,
and it would actually reset Dwayne Johnson's career because I feel like The Rock is kind of like sinking at the moment. I don't think he's doing pretty well.
Harvey Weinstein would have high-boshed Dwayne Johnson's career like in its infancy.
It must be so
Jungle
hard.
Cruise never would have fucking happened. Never would have happened.
It must be so hard to be like a celebrity now, because like back in the day, it was like I was like horribly predated on by like a Hollywood producer, but like at least I got to be in like the Lord of the Rings. Like now it's like, what do you get to be in? Like I was like, I'm now in the Marvel The Eternals. I had to blow a producer to be in.
I'm playing Metamorpho in the James Gunn Superman movie.
I had to be
Metamorpho.
I had to suck off a producer so I could end up in like
Blue Beetle.
Yeah, like whatever DC movie they're coming out with. It sucks now, man. Everything's like it's terrible. I can't even imagine like how like that's got to be the worst thing in the world. Like just to have to deal with all the horrible stuff that is still going on in Hollywood. Despite the fact that they got rid of Weinstein, like it's.
Oh no, here's the thing: they're getting dudes out of here, like James Lasseter, Karthik had brought up, and we were chatting about this. John Lasseter.
Yeah.
No, I'll say the James Lasseter. James Lasseter's a fine, upstanding man, whoever he is. John Lasseter. You were the one that said James and put that one in my head. Who else? Danny Masterson. I'm pretty sure he got prison time.
No, Danny Masterson has been convicted. So
yeah. Emil Hirsch, was it like 2015? He was. Oh no, the incident was in 2015, but he got booked.
Wait, Emil Hirsch is.
Yeah, he choked the woman unconscious.
Holy shit!
He was just on
a
drunk bender.
What the fuck did he do?
Yeah.
You're proving my point that I've made in the group chat and elsewhere is that Me Too, since it was started by celebrity women, the only men who've really been punished have been celebrity men. But it hasn't really.
Well, not even celebrity men, just like C-listers.
It hasn't done squat for women and abuse in general. Like, it did absolutely nothing, and that's why the whole pathologizing of conflict.
It was Weinstein, I think.
Weinstein and Epstein, basically.
Well, Epstein Epstein
had already gone to jail. Like he wasn't canceled.
He'd
already been in.
The whole thing was just a way for Hillary Clinton to cover her ass, like that she had basically Weinstein was the biggest campaign contributor or whatever. Like I think like everything else was just collateral damage. Like everybody else had to go because he had to sink this shit.
Oh, they knew what Epstein was. Here's the thing, because I went to school in West Palm Beach. Everybody knew what the fuck Jeffrey Epstein was up to. Like if you had ever like had a summer job at the Breaker Hotel, you knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you ever did any kind of like if you did manual labor or service work, or like if you were a restaurant worker on Palm Beach Island, you knew what was up.
If you were getting fucked by Jeffrey Epstein,
Yeah.
if you were a massage therapist for Jeffrey Epstein, you know,
Yeah, if you were giving Bill Clinton a rub and tug, you knew what was up.
or if you were his Russian driver, who, by the way, my favorite guy in that entire like Epstein saga was his like Russian MMA boxing coach. No, it was his boxing coach / personal trainer / driver. During the whole Epstein thing, like I think it was like some reporter tried to interview him, and he's just like, "Yeah, man, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you know, Epstein, he did some stuff," and there's like, "Well, did you ever see Jeffrey talk to any people? Like, why didn't you say anything about this?" And he's like, "Because I don't want to die." Like, buddy, what are you doing? Like, why are you asking me these questions? And he's like, and this reporter was like trying to like be like, weren't you part of his, you know, his ring of abuse? And this Russian driver is like, buddy, are you like not getting why I don't want to talk to you? Like, right? You do not get what is happening. Yeah. Like, this is like, do you want to die? Like, why are you asking me these questions? Like, you should keep to yourself. Like, you know, keep your head down, old guy. You know, and it's just.
Well, here's the thing. People were also saying that you know, the Illuminati or the powers that be must have it out for Jonah Hill, and it's like, no, this can pretty much happen to anybody, right? Yeah. It's not you know, everybody's like got their knives out for Jonah Hill. It's basically like it's like a lint roller, right? Like somebody says something, like somebody comes out with the story, and then somebody like piles on with their own story, and the next thing you know, we just get like these more like vaguely like at this point it's like, is this even a conflict? I don't know if you saw this
it's worse. It's worse than that. Epstein and Jonah Hill get put in the same basket. That's what ends.
Oh no, I've seen people. Okay, listen, Devin Booker, you know, who plays for the Phoenix Suns, posted a picture on his Instagram of Jonah Hill in a Devin Booker jersey, and I saw people saying that Devin Booker supports violence against women. What the fuck? How did we get the definition creep, like the slippage in language is
because we've pathologized conflict to now mean abuse at all times. Like you can't just have an argument or disagreement with your significant other anymore. It has to be some form of abuse.
So I think like basically yeah, you're right in characterizing women as like essentially purely passive, powerless, helpless creatures, because any sort of conflict between a man and a woman,
which leads us to TERFs, by the way. You know, that's the TERFs' whole bag is acting like women are just these passive, helpless creatures. So every time you pile on with the Jonah Hill's abusive blah 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 and frame women as these passive objects with no agency, congrats, you're also helping the TERFs out with that framing.
So actually, check this one out. So I saw this one in the Daily Mail. Okay. Jonah Hill fired back after being asked a pointed question about his personal life in an interview on an Australian radio that's resurfaced in the aftermath of his texting scandal. On her breakfast show earlier this week, texting scandal. He wasn't even arguing with his girlfriend over text, okay? They were just... Okay. On her breakfast radio show earlier this week, radio host Fifi Box.
What the fuck?
Is it an Australian woman named Fifi Box?
Oh my god!
Can we just like not? Like, what the fuck is happening in Australia? I don't get it.
Okay, Box? I take it back. Maybe the wildfires are a good thing.
Okay,
what's that, like
Fifi
Box?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what's the radio show called? This is why you and I are friends, Rory. Recalled the disastrous interview she had with Hill back in 2012.
Oh, geez.
The chat has... Yes, 2012. The chat has resurfaced in the wake of Hill's ex, Sarah Brady, sharing shocking texts that she allegedly got from the actor, branding him a misogynist and a narcissist. Speaking on the Fox's Fifi, Fev, and Nick for Breakfast show, Fox, age 46... said she and her former co-host Jules Lund were interviewing Hill, 39, when he was promoting 21 Jump Street with Channing Tatum. She claimed the chat turned sour after Lund asked Hill a probing question and it caused the actor to absolutely crack it. it was very uncomfortable, and I'm going to say a little scary moment because he did fire up. It provoked Jonah. She began. We've got the audio, so this is the moment that Jules mentioned something about Jonah's personal life, and he fired right up. Then the show cuts to the throwback interview with Helen Tatum. In the audio, Linda's heard saying, "Last time you were out here, Jonah, you hooked up with a friend of mine, and you didn't call her." A shock box says, what? Hold on.
Jonah Hill fucked an Australian? Okay, now maybe I see where we're going. All right.
Listen, man.
I'm ready.
Guilty,
Rory,
guilty,
not all of
guilty.
us are made of stone, all right? We've all... No. Just like
But
all of us have argued with a significant other over text, all of us have slipped up and fucked an Australian. This has happened to every one of us. Don't act
Not
above
me.
the fray. All right?
I mean.
No, yeah.
Okay. Am I the only one on this fucking panel? Jesus tits. All right. In the audio, okay. Sorry. Let me find my place again. A shocked box says, "What? That's bullshit." Hill responds. "A girl in every port." Lund quips, with Hill firing back, "That's not true." Lund then goes on to say his friend's name was Natalie. "That was the last time I was out here. First of all," Hill begins to defend himself. "You're talking to two people who have no shame in hiding anything from their past. But we don't know enough about you to dig up all the shit from your past to make fun of you on live radio." A fiery Jonah added, "If I knew anything about you or I cared enough, I would dig up all the embarrassing shit from your past and I would rip on you about it, but I don't care and I don't know, so I don't have that luxury. But you know what?" And this is the one thing he's ever done that made me like him a little bit. "But you know what? We have guns and we don't care."
Yeah, respect, dude. Well, first off, your name is Fifi Box. Like, let's just talk about that for a fucking minute. Like, were your parents smoking fucking crack when they named you? Was your mom your mom fucking high in the
Well, it's a surname, so they had no choice over that.
Well, yeah, they did. Like, you think that every Hitler in Germany was like, "Well, I can't change my name. I gotta," like, no, you just change it to something else. Like, your last name is Block. Like, just change your name. Like,
it probably didn't mean that back then. But anyway,
if your name is like Rick Wanker, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you would change your name.
You want to keep it? You want to keep an
Aspen.
F name? You want to keep an
John
F name?
N-word sayer.
Fiona.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. If you
He did nothing wrong there. Like, yeah.
If you're in an interview to talk about your movie,
and the interviewer brings up something inappropriate, yeah, you're allowed to fire back.
Broad that you smashed, like, who knows how many years ago, you didn't call her. First of all, he lives in the States. What was she expecting? He was gonna send her flowers from LA?
Skype calls.
No. What the fuck? This is 2012, by the way.
Oh, in 2012? Well, 2012 was a rough.
When the interview took place in 2012, so that encounter happened even earlier. Who knows when? No.
This is the problem. This is the problem with these call-outs, is that all of a sudden people just come out of the woodwork with stories that are a decade plus old or 15 years old, and it's like, what do you expect us all to do about it? It's in the past. It's done, but you're bringing it up like we're supposed to do something about it now.
What are we expected to do about celebrity stories in general? Like, I'm just like always baffled by, like, suddenly Jonah Hill does something to, his ex-girlfriend, whatever the fuck.
What's under
like,
the?
what
It's
the
under,
fuck do we do about it? Like,
people claim it's to raise awareness, but I'm like, all I see you do is yelling about your personal experiences
awareness
on
of
Twitter.
What? Awareness that
like
a guy might be
Q.
disagreeable with you over text?
Abuse.
Apparently, therapy speak is like supposedly a larger phenomenon than it is, and like you write an article,
a millennial men now apparently
have a problem of therapy speak, and like some reporter for NBC News pulls up like 4 tweets of women saying, I went through this too. Somebody totally brainwashed me through just text messages, and then like basically discount
you
every
go
other
to therapy
aspect.
to learn the fucking Winter Soldier activation code to turn your girlfriend into like a docile lamb. Is that what that's for now?
Well, also, like, are these like? It's like if you're that easily brainwashed, what are you? Like some kind of childlike retard? Like, what the fuck? like my girlfriend is like, I basically talked about triggers and traumas for like 10 minutes, and she went like full Manchurian candidate. Like, yeah, you're just like maybe just like don't date people that are just room temperature IQ. I'm sorry, Is she like? If this woman lives in New York, is she like losing all of her money because of like wallet inspectors? Like,
Okay, I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. Okay, Melanie, because there's right. Actually, I've never gotten an answer from you on whether you're autistic or not. So we know that we have like at least one autist on this panel here, right? Melanie, how many times have we been chatting? And I completely like just totally missed something that you said. Like you said it, and you're like, I'm just gonna wait. I hear you, like you go silent, and it'll probably take about like 10-15 seconds of silence. I'm like, oh fuck, oh god damn it, oh shit, right? Or sometimes you even have to explain it to me. Okay. Now, the power dynamic between us. First of all, you're older than I am. Second of all, you don't share my brand of neurodivergence. So is this not you exercising power over me when you do shit like that? How come we're not talking about how you weaponized my neurocognitive condition against me?
It's true. I'm just a Machiavellian mastermind. What can I say?
Q, you're basically incapable of
I'm
consenting.
an
That's
extremely
what
predatory
happens.
older woman. I admit it freely.
Yeah. Damn.
I'm exploiting a 2-year age gap.
no, I mean like that's I don't know, like that's like all of these conversations. It's so. I don't know, man. I said.
Okay, can I? I stuck a pin in this, and I hesitate to come back to it because I know I'm gonna get fucking nailed for this one, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't give a fuck. What's the name of that girl that came out with the allegation that Jonah Hill had shoved his tongue down her throat at a house party or some shit?
Alexa Nicholas.
Okay.
Zoe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zoe 101.
You get invited to a party with, oh god,
why are you smoking cigarettes as a 17-year or 16-year?
You get invited to a party with the PC versus Mac guy. What's his name again? I don't even remember.
Justin
right?
Long.
Justin Long.
Okay. And
is that
first of all, no. You get invited to a Hollywood party.
That's his name. His name is Justin Long.
Justin Long. Sure.
This fucking guy. First off, you should not have been going to a party with Justin Long.
I was just
if Justin Long invites you to a party, like that's
you're
like
16 and you went to Justin Long's party. Okay. Wouldn't the assumption generally be if you're at a party at somebody's place and there's like alcohol flowing, people are probably like smoking weed and doing other illicit shit, right? This is Hollywood, right?
Smoking cigs, that's your first.
Yeah, smoking cigarettes and taking a little nip.
I'm a little disgusted by that. You should be.
Would you not assume that everybody at that party is over the age of over drinking age at least, like over the age of majority? Would that not be an assumption?
Yeah.
At Justin Long's party, I don't know, but like ordinarily.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they don't care. Is what
here's the second thing. Knowing what we know about Hollywood, a guy kissing you is probably the least bad thing that's ever happened to anybody in that.
It probably
having grown up in LA and been to parties like the one she described. Yeah, it is the least worst thing that can happen to you. I've heard much worse stories. I've seen much worse too. So I'm just like, honestly,
as somebody that was slutted out in Justin Long's basement, I can.
when I see someone who hasn't been in anything since 2012, 2013, all of a sudden drop and jump on a story like that with a unwanted kiss, which, Q, Rory, Karthik, I assume that women have kissed you against your will at some point.
I used to work in nightclubs, babe.
Oh yeah,
that was always cool though. I don't know. Like
no.
Here's
Also, by the way, if they were smoking beforehand, I will actually say, if Jonah Hill, if she didn't smoke and he did smoke, okay, maybe
that's
that could be a traumatic incident because that shit tastes fucking gross.
Man. It tastes awful. Here's the
cigarettes.
If you're at a party,
like ass.
If you're in a party atmosphere, you're sober and everybody else is not. Karthik, getting kissed on, it's not fun. Dude,
I guess like that's probably the one benefit of having like everybody just smoking Elf bars now is that it probably tastes a little better. I'd imagine. I don't know, but like
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't
everybody
know what
like
that is.
doing vapes. I've
Vape, it's a vape,
kissed girls
yeah.
who've who vaped, and it's not so bad, but still, nobody wants an unwanted kiss. All I'm saying is that, like, is it bad? Yes. But I think the force multiplier here is that, like, she was underage and he forcefully kissed her. But here's my thing: if everybody's drunk at a party and there's alcohol flowing, wouldn't you just assume that the people there are of age? Do you go around asking everybody if they are over the
It was also
legal drinking
15
age?
years ago when people weren't as keyed up to analyze every single action under the microscope of, age versus underage.
Here's my take.
It was pre
on
Me
this.
Too.
Here's my take on all of this is, like, basically, because I mean, I don't know, like, there's no real good way of navigating something like this, especially now. But my take is people are, because everyone, it came out and was like, oh, you don't believe that Jonah Hill, like a Hollywood, one of the Hollywood sickos, would do something like this. I'm like, no, like 100%.
Absolutely.
I would absolutely
Yeah,
believe
100%.
that I would 100% believe Jonah Hill would do this, if not.
I'm actually surprised. Right? Like, this is.
I'm surprised that it was his. This is remarkably tame, given how, like, the sickos of Hollywood.
It's tame for sure.
But here's the other thing, and here's the bigger thing. Here's the other thing. Would I also believe that a actress who hasn't had like a bit in the last 15 years in any like movie production would try to like hop on the bandwagon of like a current event? Yeah, also I would 100% believe that. Like that's
Melanie has told me some Hollywood stories that I'm like, holy fucking shit, that's wild.
These are like the worst people in the world. Like these are actual demons. Like every person in Hollywood, woman, man, child. Well, okay, maybe not children, but women and men are demons.
Well,
these people are demons. Like these are like that is the one thing that QAnon absolutely 100% got right is that like everybody involved in this is a demon.
Why Sound of Freedom? Why Sound of Freedom is a smash hit of the summer.
QAnon was right heuristically, but wrong materially. That's pretty much, that's what threw them off. Is that heuristically, they were actually correct. They were on the wrong coast.
Yeah.
No, it's
aren't they talking about Hollywood the whole time?
No, they were talking about. Well, it started off with this. This pizza restaurant in Washington D.C.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, dude, Comet Ping Pong Pizza, dude, that's my like favorite.
We
used to go. I went on a date there once. It was so funny. I was like, hell yes. When I was living in DC,
was this after QAnon or before?
Oh hell yeah, dude! Well, it was after Pizzagate. Pizzagate was before It was before QAnon.
Sorry, after Pizzagate.
QAnon was ongoing, but like, it was 100%. It was after Pizzagate. I'm going. That was the first thing. When I was like, dude, I gotta go see Comic Ping Pong.
Did you run up on like the do not enter staff room? Like, okay, what are you guys doing back there? I gotta know.
I was like, the whole time I kept saying to the waitress, like, I want the cheese pizza. I was doing citizens investigation. I would
like your meat.
You ordered exactly what John Podesta ordered.
I the whole time I tried to order a cheese. I was doing a citizens investigation. I was actually working with Operation Underground Railroad. It hadn't been formed yet at the time. I was like an independent contractor for them. I was trying to investigate. Okay. So here's like, I know this is a detour, but I will say one of my favorite parts of, because I used to go like running quite a bit around DC and like especially the downtown part of DC, like the National Mall. And at one point, I ran past a Pizzagate demonstration, and it was the most incomprehensible like. They might as well have like written all of their signs in like Thai. I had no idea what any of it meant. It was just like, why don't you ask the Undersecretary of Agriculture under Obama what he was doing on June 3rd? It's like, what, man? Like you gotta dumb all of this down like 15 levels so like normal people can understand it. Like the Pizzagate lore was so deep. It was like it's like Elden Ring. It's like a FromSoft game. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was all true, by the way. That is an official statement of me. QAnon is not real, but everything in Pizzagate is real. The secret basement, all the rest of it. But yeah, anyway, getting back to Jonah Hill. No, it's like everybody in Hollywood is this, like all of these people are grifters. All of these people are grifters.
Yeah,
all
and they're all neurotic.
Psychos. They're
like
psychos.
Jonah Hill's neuroses in those texts is like that's very common with actors. They are very neurotic and insecure. That is like that used to be a joke, a regular joke about actors, but since we can't bully people anymore, you can't say it anymore.
Well,
we used to be a proper country who bullied theater kids.
Here's what I learned from that. I remember when I've had a problem with a couple of like particular people on Twitter earlier this year. Let's just say that, right? I won't name them. Yeah, we all saw that, Melanie. I won't say their names, but we know they've had problems with a couple of people, right? And what happened? A couple of friends of mine hit me up and was like, "Why are you arguing with women on the internet?" And you know what? They were right. Why would you argue with women on the internet? It is the absolute worst thing that you could possibly do. Don't argue with women on the internet. As a matter of fact, don't argue with women. His biggest mistake here was having those long-ass back and forths with her. You know what he could have done? At the moment that she hit him up to say, like, hey, tell your publicist that this isn't me. You know what you could have done? Rather than all of that, like, I'm very sorry that I crossed the friend boundary and I was not there for you in the way that you needed me to be, and I'm sorry that things were ambiguous.
Well, yes, don't talk to your ex.
You hit her with the K.
You just said K, yeah.
You hit it with the K. That's it. Done. Hit it with the K. Mute that shit. Okay?
Dude,
archive the messages. Don't respond.
Hire like an Indian guy to do all your responses. That's what I mean. just like some random guy. Why does Jonah Hill keep asking? Account. Like, why do you keep asking me to do the needful? What the hell does that even mean? Why are you talking like this, Jonah? Oh man, dude. Man. Here's the thing I don't get about all of this, right? Yeah. He's worth like what, $100 million, $70 million?
Yeah, 70 to 100, I think.
I don't know what it is.
What are you doing with this surfer girl, dude? Come on now. Again. Yeah. This is how far celebrities have fallen since they locked up Epstein. That's like you used to go to like weird Bohemian Grove shit. No, I mean this is it. It's like now we have like a generation of celebrities that just are the worst people in that. Like they're not as bad as they used to be, but they're just more annoying. Like it used to be that all of that annoyingness was like just leached out of them at like Bohemian Grove, but that doesn't happen anymore. Now they're just all on Twitter.
No. Here's what it is. You ever notice how like basketball players, rappers, certain actors, you notice how they like tend to like date the same people? Athletes, it'll be like some Instagram models, not all. You're gonna get me in trouble. Stop it.
Oh, dude, no.
You notice how You notice how they tend to date the same people. Like why is like Amber Rose? Why is she like she's going from like one rapper to the next to the next to the next? I mean now she's dating like fucking pizza delivery boys, whatever. But it used to be she was like with Kanye West. And she was with
they met at Comet Ping Pong.
Isn't it like are these like publicists?
But the reason for that though. Hold on, the reason for that is because they know how to keep their fucking mouth shut. Like, there's a whole other substrate of humanity that none of us in like the middle and even like upper middle, possibly in upper classes, we're not privy to all that shit. I can't afford to breathe the same air that these people do. Jonah Hill, you find a surfer girl. I'm convinced he found her because of Jackson Hinkle. He was following Jackson Hinkle and he's like, oh no, she got the man. Oh wait a second, they're broken up. All right.
Oh, dude, Jonah Hill was getting totally like Z-pilled by.
He was getting totally Z-pilled. Okay.
Right, he was like, we need to support the special operation in Ukraine. he was like, oh my, like, oh my god, the People's Republic of Donetsk must be supported.
Must be freed. The people of Luhansk cry out for freedom.
Jonah Hill was like on the phone with like David Geffen and was like, guys, like, we have to support the Eurasian land bridge via Alaska. He's like sitting at home. That's why Sarah Brady had a problem. She like broke up with Jackson Hinkle, and she's like, oh, thank God, I finally get a guy that's like fucking normal, that I can have a nice normal conversation. And she like,
I finally found a guy that's not quoting Dugan at me.
Yeah, and then she finds like Jonah Hill, and he's like reading Lyndon LaRouche pamphlets. He's like, he's like, yeah, no, dude. Barack Obama is a Trotskyist fifth columnist.
He's reading "I'm okay, you're okay, man." Yeah. Like, I think this is basically the problem. Like,
Jonah wanted to become a Maoist third worldist.
Yeah,
that would be so odd. That's a way better version. No, see, this is okay. No, we figured it out.
Could you imagine Jonah Hill joined Infrared? Holy fuck!
No,
I would actually like him.
No, here's the thing. Jonah Hill is actually like a super hardcore like Slava Ukraini guy. He's like he's like a NAFO guy, and that's what he meant by her wild past. Was like her wild past, like dealing with like guys that like Samira Khan and stuff. Which, oh man,
Jonah Hill should date Samira Khan.
Dude, Jonah Hill should. That would be funny. Well,
the Samira Khan date.
Well,
dude,
you should marry Samira Khan.
Dude, Jonah Hill. Oh, can you imagine how like she would fix his life, dude? He would have.
Oh my god, yes.
Like, he would
be the most chiseled Greek god you'd ever seen. Like, his calves
she would
look
actually
like the muscled legs of the Colossus straddling Rhodes.
She would beat the therapy talk out of him. Like,
right out of him. Oh no.
Just 4 a.m. Like, she's like waking up with an air horn. Just like, I like, no,
she would. Samira Khan would force Chad him. Is what would happen.
Okay. She would she would force him to like start using like retinol and shit. Like, she would actually make Jonah Hill. She would fix his life. I think we do need to do that. She would
fix his whole shit.
In the same way that Samira Khan.
You wouldn't see him within a country mile of seed oil.
In the same way that we need to let Samira Khan onto the social media platform Blue Sky, the only one that would be able to fix that site is Samira Khan. We also need to fix. We need to get them together because again. We need to fully blend Hollywood and.
I have an invite. I was actually going to send it to Haas, but I don't know if he wants to go
there. I have 2 invites, dude. Please, we will get.
I'm gonna send Haas an invite. I'm totally doing it.
Dude, well, you know Haas, so like, I mean,
I don't know him. We haven't spoken in a long ass time.
You know who my vote for Toxic Invite was, but you're not sure if he'll respond. But I said Andrew Tate.
Oh yeah, that's the thing though, because he wouldn't even like he's gonna have like so many DMs. He wouldn't even notice an invite onto Blue Sky.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go on, and also like
I don't think he. Yeah, well, I kind of feel like him being on there would be like. I feel like it would remedy a lot of problems that site has.
I think you should like rename your telephone number after the pizza joint from which you got pizza, because apparently he always answers their calls. So you can always
God.
What is with people in pizza, man? Again, like
who does
trafficking things?
What is human trafficking in pizza? What is that connection? Like, I think we need to explore that a little more, right? I think that's what we need to really.
30 minutes or less.
True, he would get mass reported, but he also would have to post something offensive, and he really, when it comes to his Twitter posts, he's not.
He's pretty tame,
videos.
Actually.
Yeah, his Twitter posts are tame compared to what he says.
His Twitter posts are like like those inspirational posters, like those motivational posters from the early 2000s. Shit like that.
He's not a very good poster. No, again, Andrew Tate's greatest strength is how funny he is on video. Like that's the only reason people like him. I'm sorry. Like I know there's some like annoying person probably who is on Blue Sky that's going to tell me that like the reason why people like him is because they hate women. Like no, there's a lot of people you can follow online
because he's charismatic.
It's like no, he's just funny. It's the same way that like everybody tried to tell me that the reason why people were like into Trump is because they actually like hate like minorities and women and gay
they hate
people.
Mexicans and women. No. Trump is he's the bitchiest, gayest straight guy that ever
here's
lived.
The thing.
How dare you forget the Godfather in this category of men who are accused of hating women, Kevin Samuels.
Oh no, but if Kevin Samuels was alive, I would be the first out the gate with the Blue Sky invite for him. If he was still alive, oh my god, yes.
No, but what I'm saying is that like right now with Ron DeSantis, like Trump is waterboarding Ron DeSantis in the polls. And what is Ron DeSantis but justly like hardcore social justice warrior or anti-social like SJW warrior in America? Like he's an
SJW for conservatives is what he is. He's the same energy. The exact same energy. He is running to Trump's social right. Like in terms of like social politics. Absolutely. Yeah. Like honestly in terms of all politics. Like Ron DeSantis, like it's so funny whenever they interview Trump. I know this is getting way off topic, but it's so funny to see
off topic.
Yeah, we can let's whatever. Let's change the Twitter.
Yeah, we can update it. We can update it.
I'll do something else. No. He's running like every time they interview Trump about like social culture shit, like culture war stuff, he's just like, yeah, I don't really care about that. Like whatever, like TV sucks now. Like I'm so tired of listening to this wokeness stuff. Like I don't even know what that means. And you and then you like read like a DeSantis thing, and he's just so keyed into every weird grievance. And it's like, no. As I said before, the reason why people like Donald Trump is that he's funny. That's the reason. He's entertaining to watch. That's why they like him. Anyway, regardless. I guess we can
that would be. I feel like that would be confirmed if it actually does turn out. I mean, it looks like it that Trump's actually going to blow this guy out of the water. But if that turns
Trump
out to be
is absolutely, he's gonna dog walk his ass in the primaries. Are you kidding me?
It's not even a question.
It won't even be close.
Who are people going to?
Could you imagine the two of them on the debate stage? Jesus,
that would
have you seen Ron DeSantis debate?
He wouldn't. Donald Trump isn't even going to go on the debate stage. Why would he? Like, I'm not even going to entertain.
Yes, fair enough.
I'm not going to entertain this just namby-pamby like rich.
How tall is Ron DeSantis? Is he like 5'9" or some shit?
Oh yeah,
less than that, I think.
He's less than that. He's overweight. He just looks like crap. He's got gay voice. That's the other thing. Listen to Ron DeSantis talk. It's just like, well, the trans people want to take away your kids, okay? And it's just nasally. It's awful. I don't know why anybody would listen to him. It's basically Trump without it's a more hateful version of Trump without any of the charisma, and he's getting destroyed. So anybody that was trying to tell me that the reason why people vote for Trump is because he's evil and hates hates Mexico, like no. They like him because he is entertaining. And honestly, yeah, he is. He's way more entertaining than Hillary was.
Because if he beats DeSantis, I mean, like, of course, it looks like it, but that would actually be confirmed.
Rory, have you spent any time in Jacksonville, Florida?
Oh God, no, dude. I go to
dude, they're all like that. They're all fucking like that.
Yeah, they suck.
Just the most it's almost like the opposite of whatever the opposite of an adrenochrome injection is. It's like they've all had that. Just the most like soy losers in that city, and that's his hometown.
Right. Yeah. No. It's of course like it's obvious. No. And again, he's going to lose in Florida. He's going to be outvoted by every like. Here's the funny thing.
South Florida will beat his ass. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I can already like one thing about the Sound of Freedom that's very interesting is the demographics of the people that go to see Sound of Freedom. It's cranks and Latinos. It's very weird, and those are Trump's base, absolutely. Like weird crank white people, like conservative evangelical, but like not even the traditional like Baptist ones, like the ones that go to like a church called like Hillsong or like Crossroads.
Yeah, Crossroads.
Yeah, one of those. And like Latinos. And like hilariously, like a couple of just like one of my friends who actually lives in Florida was like, "There are like 5 black people at this view." I'm like, "What the fuck are you guys doing here?" And he's like, I mean, the only reason he went is because he got one of those free tickets. Which, by the way, if anyone wants to see The Sound of Freedom, apparently you can get free tickets to go see it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I'm a little hesitant because I don't know what the
it's boring.
If it's gonna get rowdy or anything like that.
It's super boring, man. It's
Well,
apparently
the movie.
like,
I'm sure it's super boring, but like I don't know how the audience is.
they're a bunch of middle class boring people. Like it's a soporific film apparently. Like everyone's saying like, oh yeah, this is like QAnon. Like it's not QAnon. It actually was made in I think 2017 or 2018. It was filmed. So like it wasn't even like QAnon wasn't even really like a domineering force in like the right wing at that point. It's just boring like boilerplate shit. But regardless,
What is it about?
it's about some like Mormon guy that like quits his job being like an anti-pedophile guy at the government to be an anti-pedophile like free agent in South America. He has to save some like Latina in like some like 13-year-old Guatemalan chick who was kidnapped by pedophile FARC rebels, which is really funny. Like what?
FARC?
Like,
I thought they were in Colombia.
Or Colombia, I don't know.
Okay.
She was trafficked. She was trafficked from Guatemala into Colombia, I guess. Okay. I don't know. I don't know anything about this movie. But, yeah, it's really boring, I've heard. Apparently, the guy that runs it is, like, he's, again, one of these, like, weird conservative, like, charities that like ends human trafficking.
Oh, okay, no, okay. I haven't seen anything about this movie whatsoever. I've only heard about people who've gone to see it, but I just looked it up right now. So apparently, it's about some guy or some special forces agent that goes to rescue children from a trafficking ring in Colombia. So yeah, I guess it would be FARC. Why? Okay, so why is everybody so why is everyone so up in arms about it?
Isn't it played by the guy who was Jesus in Passion of the Christ?
Jim Caviezel,
baby. Oh, he's, by the way, a real psycho. Real whack.
He is.
Oh, him and his family are
to the gills.
Him and his whole
he
family.
Has spoken
at
QAnon conferences. He
insane.
is deep in it. That's a lot of the reason why it's also like QAnon associated is because he is.
Here's the thing.
He jumped in with both feet.
We need to get. Here's my take. We need to get We need to get evangelical Christians out of Hollywood. Like, say what you will about Mel Gibson's social positions, but Apocalypto slapped.
See, Mel Gibson had the benefit of being a Catholic.
Yeah, no, like we're the ones that make good movies. Like name any good Christian movie.
No, there are no good Protestant filmmakers. They just aren't. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's like a German like Lutheran. No, that one really weird guy.
Who? Okay, good filmmakers in Hollywood.
Well, there are no
Jewish
good
people
filmmakers
and Catholics. The best filmmakers you know.
Well, there's no good filmmakers in Hollywood anymore. I mean, that's the biggest problem.
Okay.
Like that's the other thing. Is like
Martin Scorsese. Okay.
I mean, I don't think Quentin Tarantino is Catholic, is he? I mean, I guess he's Italian, but I can't imagine
he's Italian. But I mean, I would assume that he grew up Catholic. He grew up in an Italian family. He wasn't going to like a Pentecostal church, bro.
No, I just thought he'd be like an atheist. Bro.
Nobody was running up and down the aisles with a Maranatha flag at his church. He went to a Catholic church.
Oh, even if he went to church, right? That's
yeah.
I guess you have to be an atheist too.
Well, yeah, I guess you know what. Yeah. I guess Jim Caviezel is also Catholic, but he's like the wrong kind of Catholic.
Is he Catholic?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, both him and Mel Gibson are Catholic, but he's also a psychopath. He's the Catholic with the most Baptist, like Southern Baptist energy I've ever seen. Rory's going to look it up.
You played Jesus one time.
He's going to look it up like I don't know.
Yeah,
okay.
No, he is.
You play Jesus in a movie, you get a God complex.
Yeah, well, he was like that before. He was always a psychopath.
He was. What was that show he was in? Person of Interest. I love that show, man. Did you guys ever watch?
Yeah, I like that show too. Although I just didn't really believe him in the role. But do you remember when everybody was like against stem cell research? Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, dude, that was a throwback. That was like
yeah. He was him and oh my god, I forget her name. But yeah, he was very, very like publicly against stem cell research. He saw it as like killing babies.
That was like back with like that was back in the good old days with like Terry Schiavo. Like, man, that was I really need to have another Terry Schiavo type social event to really bring people
We have
together.
one of those like every week now though. You know what? Social media has basically turned us into like a constant Terry Schiavo cycle.
Yeah.
What do you think the whole Jonah Hill shit was? It's just
That's
that small.
To me, Jonah Hill was like the death row last thrash of Me Too. Like all these years of pathologizing conflict into categories of abuse and manipulation and control. It's just like it's people taking one more stab at the victim economy, not realizing it's already over. Over the moment Johnny Depp got a standing ovation at Cannes.
Oh man. But I'm like seeing it as I'm seeing it as like a less than a death knell, but more like a fracturing and a privatization where there's no movement or anything like that. It's
over. Like that.
It's like it's going to be
paraphrase Padme Amidala. This is how Me Too dies, with thunderous applause. Right? Like it was pretty much over at that point. Nobody benefits from this. Nobody actually benefits from this shit anymore. And here's the thing, like. I get that people think that it's a
the victim economy isn't what it was. Like I don't think book
everybody who
deals
could have
are being
benefited from that.
Jobs are being handed out the way they used to. Same with DEI.
Okay, you know what people got from the victim economy?
The gravy train has dried up.
They got freelance gigs for publications like BuzzFeed and Slate, which just re-victimized them. It didn't bring anything to anybody.
Now here's my
all these DEI positions, these diversity, equity, and inclusion positions that like these companies went on a hiring spree, 2016, 17, 18. After after the 2018 midterms, like the wall just started crumbling on that. It just wasn't making money anymore. And here's the thing, when you have like a some sort of like a cause celeb. Especially like if you're on the political left, which I don't know why you would be like publicly on the political left. That doesn't really make you any money. That's what you're in it for. But if you're on the political left and you're actually trying to make money, 2018 that was a wrap for you. You were not making any money after that. Everybody started tightening their purse strings. And who are the first people that get thrown overboard during these cutbacks and layoffs? It's always operations staff. And what is the most superfluous operations position you can imagine? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, you hire somebody to come in and yell at you.
Here's my take. Yeah. I think that where this is going to go is it's going to stop being a largely like kind of progressive, liberal / leftist thing. It's going to become a conservative thing. I think that's where, because again, what is the most like the sound of like everybody's saying like, oh, the sound of freedom. It's all astroturfed. It's all the company buying up their own tickets, and I don't think that's the case. Like, I think that there actually are like a lot of people genuinely going to see this and buying large numbers of tickets for other people to go to see it. It's going to go from being like mostly liberal women kind of complaining about like abuse stuff to being like fast, like just mostly conservatives talking, like just making shit up, like full on.
Well, yeah,
like, making up.
You already saw it with the
it's going to be a constantly. Or Eliza Blue is the best example of this.
Oh my god, yes.
You remember that, Broad?
Yeah,
oh yeah,
that shit. Yeah.
People got mad at her, right? Like, she's not like she's talking about it.
It's total bullshit.
How dare you say that? No, like progressive liberal women and leftists were like, oh no, like she's a victim. I'm like, no, dude, she's making this shit up.
No, she's not.
This
Yep,
anti-trafficking
she was
shit
100%
is-
making it
Oh,
up.
dude, this anti-trafficking thing is going to be amazing.
This
It's gonna,
anti-trafficking shit
yeah.
is 100. Like it is. It's basically like it's the DEI come up for for
conservatives.
like, vaguely right wing striver climbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's gonna be. I think that is the future. I think that is actually what's going to put a nail in all this Me Too stuff. Is that it's going to be outdone by the right. They're just going to take this.
Well,
they're gonna like fully digest this and just start producing it like way harder,
Well,
way more.
yeah,
effective.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Who started all the grooming talk? Teenagers on Tumblr, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And the right wing picked it up and ran with it.
They're all that's what
I saw
they
that
do.
shit coming a mile away when that talk started migrating over onto Twitter, and people were, where did this whole groomer shit come from? People that were mad about age gaps.
Yeah.
Okay? Age gap discourse is single-handedly responsible for this shit.
And here's the thing. I think that as the right wing really jumps into this, because I will say honestly, I think that the trans stuff just doesn't have legs. Like the transphobia, I don't see it. I don't like because I have a lot of conservative friends, and
Most people just don't care.
and yeah, they don't
It's
care.
literally-
Like they're just sort of
literally
Yeah.
10%
they're
of people
tired
have
of
a
it.
strong opinion about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
even they'll stop. Like one of my an actual like a long time conservative friend I have that lives in Texas had to cut off friends because he was like, literally, I just don't want to talk to him anymore because all he does is talk about like just nonsense, like grooming shit.
These
I don't care.
LGBTQ pedos.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He's like, I just want to have I want to talk to my friend like a normal
I'm just trying to barbecue right now. I'm just trying.
So
to barbecue.
I think that this. Yeah.
I want to talk about the upcoming football season. I want to talk about the NBA Summer League. I don't want to talk about this shit.
And so that's going to go away. And I think what it's going to be replaced by is anti-trafficking stuff. Because anti-trafficking, way easier to understand. Like there's kids, there's pervs, and money is exchanged. Right?
The dark money and clandestine operations. Everybody gets
there's tons of money to be made in it. Like you can all of these, that's what that Ballard guy, the guy that was in charge of the guy that this movie is based off of, The Sound of Freedom. He is his entire charity is just you can pay to go on an anti-pedophile sting mission in Guatemala. It's wild shit. That there's more money to be made. It's easier to understand, and honestly, it's not as bizarre and kind of hard to hard to parse. Yeah. So I think that's going to be the future, and I think that is what's going to put the nail in Me Too. It's going to be.
It's already. Here's the thing. It's already happening because I've never seen this before in my life. A woman getting the grooming allegations. So this Colleen Ballinger shit, which I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm just it's just beyond my age, but I didn't know.
I have no idea who this fucking person is.
I know who she was.
I still
have no idea.
I didn't know until the ukulele apology dropped. I had never heard of them. I was like,
no, I wasn't gonna watch that video. No, I'm not gonna listen to somebody playing the ukulele and giving a speech. Two things that I hate. Yeah.
In June, NBC News, Huffington Post, and Time Magazine reported on the bubbling discontent as former fans who are now young adults made social media videos and posts accusing Ballinger of grooming them when they were teens. Several posts alleged that she communicated and interacted with them in ways that ranged from manipulative to sexually suggestive. Adam McIntyre first publicly detailed his childhood parasocial relationship with Ballinger in the 2020 YouTube video titled Colleen Ballinger, Stop Lying. In the clip, he talked about how Ballinger made him feel like her friend in their conversations, but she was the only one who benefited from indirectly pressuring him to defend her reputation on gossip sites, while he was criticized on the websites. Ballinger also often confided in McIntyre about personal life issues through one-on-one messages. She also showed the bra and underwear set that Ballinger gave to him in 2016 as part of a giveaway that she streamed. Ballinger apologized for sending the lingerie in a video from 2020 called Addressing Everything. I've always given away weird stuff, so in my mind at the time, this was no different than all the other weird stuff I sent to my fans as a joke. Now in hindsight, I see how completely stupid of me. I never should have sent that. Here's my question.
First off, you knew.
How old was this?
Yeah.
This dude.
I think he was
Time.
underage. That's all I know.
Was he?
Maybe I don't really follow
That
this
was-
stuff. This is like skibidi videos,
But,
man. Like,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me, how did we actually get to a point? I've never heard of like a woman YouTube celebrity getting accused of grooming before, and it's sticking. So Rory, you're onto something with this whole child trafficking shit.
I think that's what it's actually, because again, a lot of people can, especially on like Twitter.
Hold on. Here's something else I just realized. I ended up becoming friends with all three of you through these parasocial relationships. Did I groom all of you? Oh fuck! Oh my god!
Yeah. When you came down to New York, it just absolutely fucked me in the ass, dude.
I was.
You were there, Karthik.
Yeah, I was drunk.
Dude,
So I mean,
you
you bought us all like
slid-
tequila shots and stuff.
Oh yeah,
so.
slutted out Karthik and Rory in my hotel room in New York City. Y'all didn't know about that.
You slid into my DMs on Discord. I was like, I'm a breedable 28-year-old man in New York. I'm a breedable 28-year-old attorney in New York.
I was just minding my business as a reply girl.
Yeah. Here's the thing about it, like all of this, again, because I think that I know that there's like a few women that are getting canceled, but they can kind of separate this from like, the general sort of like continuous, like endless gender war. Where I think this is going to become a problem is when the conservatives get in on it. When they start to get...
Oh no, it's already getting there.
Yeah, and when they really like fully turn into this, like if they really fully turn into this, I mean, my prediction is that they will. It's going to become harder to parse that out because it's just going to be like a conservative thing. Like you're going to have a bunch of wackos, and most of the women that are doing all of this.
Hold on, Rory. You're gonna like this one, okay? You're gonna like this one. In her June 30 Substack newsletter, April Corto-Quio said that she was deeply uncomfortable with several comments Ballinger made on set, including jokes about child sexual abuse and racially insensitive jabs. I had to document Colleen's insistence that we use limited POC background actors as the show took place in Washington. Having them randomly sit there, or having them randomly there would be distracting. I took note as Colleen was shown an Asian food market that would be redressed as a bodega for the show, and watched her disgust as she demanded assurance that all the Asian shit would be removed before filming. In 2020, a skit posted to YouTube from around 2006 resurfaced. Clip shows her and her sister impersonating Latinas, which she said was based on racial stereotypes with exaggerated accents and dark makeup. Okay, now we're getting to the good shit. On July 5th, content creator Paige Christie suggested on Twitter that Ballinger might have donned blackface in a Miranda Sings performance of Beyonce's Single Ladies, which several media outlets reported on. I'm gonna need someone to explain the black on her face, Christie tweeted, along with a video of Ballinger with dark-colored face paint. The video was shared in Ballinger's 2018 book, My Diary, as a QR code, which linked to the unlisted YouTube video. Yeah.
So this
hold on,
lady...
but Ballinger's legal representative said the blackface claims are incorrect. The dark face paint Ballinger had on her face in the 2009 show was green, Bretler said,
cool.
and it was left on from a preceding performance of a song called From Wicked, in which she was playing Elphaba's part. So apparently she was playing the character from Wicked.
Yeah, she would not have needed the paint for it. So this lady, just to get
I'm sorry, that's
story.
just boring as fuck. Why couldn't it have been blackface? That is the most.
No, I think that they're probably covering that.
I want her to do a ukulele apology song for the blackface. That's what I mean.
No, here's my thing.
She would probably do it in blackface if you
look up a picture. Yeah. Look up a picture of Colleen Ballinger. Why did she need to put on makeup to pretend to be Latina? Like, what? Like, why did you need to darken your face to pretend to be like you're just like you're Mediterranean? You look.
Yeah,
Like, why would you need to do that?
Yeah, she has that like Southern Mediterranean look to her.
Yeah, I mean, like if I was gonna pretend to be like a Latino, I would have to color my face, but like she doesn't at all. Like what? Dude,
she had so many bad ideas. No. Dude, she didn't have enough good ideas, is what I say.
Dude, all I'm saying is that is if you're putting on, if you look like Colleen Ballinger and you're putting on like dark makeup to pretend to be Latina, like you're just in it for
Gilding
the
the
love.
lily.
You're just in
It's
it
like
for
it's
the
like
love of
Drake
the
putting
game.
on blackface.
That
That's all- yeah.
like that's again, yeah, it's amazing. No, I like
So she actually did blackface. She groomed somebody, and she did the Gangnam Style video where she's like obviously saying really fucked up words and passing them off as Korean. Like it's kind of like she's saying shit that's mocking
It's kind of
Korean
like
people.
she was a YouTuber in the mid to late 2000s.
that's
Yeah.
also the other thing.
But like that's kind of a lot of items scratched on the bingo card, man. Like I
That's
mean,
the type of
you're
time that
grooming
everybody
around-
was on.
Here's the thing. What it is it's the final synthesis of Nick Mullen and Jake Flores.
Oh man.
Okay.
You're Chinese.
Last item.
Oh, do we want to talk about Boogie?
I just
Oh,
finally I was gonna bring up a
jeez.
certain Stephen J. Williams, a 48-year-old man who posted up a
Boogie.
picture of himself with a 19-year-old girl.
Switch the name of the space because we got to talk about this one, dude. Boogie
Okay, all right. Boogie
I'm going to
Nights.
tell you guys
You wanna
right
call
now.
it that?
Right now, we are, Boogie 2988, baby. Let's go. When I say the luckiest woman in the world, let me tell you, we found her. Whatever chick Boogie 2988 is dating, just 20 years old, and man, she has landed an absolute gem. It's like, imagine this. It's kind of funny this is happening at the same time as Jonah Hill, because it's just like, what if like an even less attractive version of Jonah Hill was dating an even more like absolute cracked out version of Sarah Brady, and that is what that is the outcome of that is what Boogie 2988 drama is. So for those of you who don't know, Boogie is a
Tell the people about Boogie.
he was like a big YouTuber back in the day. He was one of the first. He used to do this character named Francis. I remember in college we used to or like not even college, high school actually. They were like we were like joking about like the Francis videos, where he'd pretend to be this like fat guy that everybody like that was like a comic book nerd. Yeah. And then over time, he was one of the first people to do get on mental health. But this was before it became like an annoying.
This is way before it became just like
annoying and shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was before before therapy talk became a thing.
Yeah, it was back when if you actually talked about your mental health problems, it was like, oh wow, he's
like
he was talking about that.
Yeah, he was pretty open about the fact he's like, yeah, no, like my mom was very like abusive. My dad was like an alcoholic. We lived in like the shittiest town in Virginia, and it was like, or like West Virginia, I think. So it's like, yeah, okay, this is somebody that actually went through some real shit, right? The problem with Boogie was that he just didn't know when to stop. Like he was the picture perfect like online man child in like 2016. He would get into like very annoying debates with people. He was an eternal fence sitter. Like, during Gamergate, he would like try to both sides it, which is like, nah, man, you can't do that. Like, you got to pick one or the other, right? And then it came out that he was like weirdly emotionally manipulative to people, and like not even in like a Me Too way, and just like a weirdly pathetic, annoying way. Again, very reminiscent of this Jonah Hill stuff, where like he got a sugar baby and then just like didn't pay her. Like he just had her around this
fucking woman. King. What?
He just didn't pay her.
He got a sugar baby and didn't pay. So how did he? Okay, how did they establish the relationship to begin with? Was it like
he had like he had like a I don't know. There's some website that like rich guys can use to like get sugar babies. Like it was
like Seeking Arrangements or whatever.
Yeah, it was like a Seeking Arrangements. It was one of those websites, and that's where they met. And she was this like kind of a little bit of a frumpy kind of gamer girl. So like I don't know if she necessarily got a huge amount of interest. But basically, he was like, oh, like I'm gonna like shower you with gifts and stuff, and so she ended up just kind of like being his mom, sort of, and like I guess he just gave her gifts, but they were always sort of very low cost. He lowballed her, if anything,
Okay. Yeah.
and kind of strung her along. I will say, she
bought
was
her,
not
like, Gundam figurines and shit.
She was not a great
Funko
look. I
Pops.
think that I'm going to be honest. Like like with Jonah Hill, like she really should have worked on her business pitch. She should have driven a much harder bargain. He kind of lowballed her on that. He also, I think, shot a guy or like brandished a weapon at a guy at some point. Basically, he went from being like a fairly well liked personality on the internet to being
devolving into a psycho.
not even a psycho, just a joke, right?
Okay.
And recently he came out and was just like, looks like I've done it again. Or it's like, I'm here to announce my new girlfriend. That's right. She's 20 years old and I am significantly older. And I'm like, okay, Boogie. I don't know if we want to share the post that made it.
Yeah.
Let's pull it up.
I'll find it. But go ahead. But yeah, he announced that he's got a girlfriend, and then he's gone on to like retweeting everybody criticizing him. Boogie's not only 3 times her age, but also 5 times her weight. What's your excuses?
Oh, dude, Boogie. Here's the thing. Boogie is an absolute demon. I've been retweeted by Boogie before. Actually, like I made like a joke in one of his. He is very, very quick on the. He stalks the QTs. He is that kind of guy. He is very.
He's like Will. He's like Will. He's like Will Blunderfeld, the semen retention influencer guy, who also name searches.
Or like or like Perry Abbasi, but cool. He's not like Perry Abbasi. He's nothing like Perry Abbasi rules. No, Boogie's nothing like that. But no, he's very.
Here we go. My one and only tweet about my age.
Here, pull it up on so we can see, because I think we have to.
Hang on.
We have to show people what she looks like, because it's.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Look, all I'm gonna.
This is sad. Okay. My one and only tweet about my age. She's an adult. She's 20. I am older. But look at me, man. I am fat, old, and ugly as sin. When an adult woman I get along with wants to give it a shot, I'm going to do the smart thing, give it a shot. Can't handle that. Tell you.
Oh, yeah. Can I just say? Yeah. That is what every couple in the Midwest looks like. It's just like, or like, full third of couples in the Midwest are just like a fat guy and just like the most like cracked out looking woman in existence. I'm sorry. Like, first off, can we just?
No, you're not wrong.
Can I just say, the leopard print tattoo, leopard print tube top, psycho.
Fantastic.
What is going on? What is going on?
Dude, that's a throwback. That is a 90s. She might as well have like a
the
Tinkerbell
90s
ankle
are
tattoo.
So unbelievably
90s are back, baby. No, sorry.
Like,
a Tinkerbell calf tattoo and a dolphin ankle tattoo. That's what she needs.
I'm honestly shocked. There is no septum. There is no septum piercing either. Since
No. This is she's no.
No, this is
post septum piercing.
This is not septum piercing.
This is nose ring.
No,
this is Marilyn Monroe piercing.
This is yeah, she needs a Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, she also needs and I'm sorry, Melanie, but you're gonna catch a stray on this one. She needs a Chinese character tattooed on the back of her neck.
No, that's too.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing. That's too much of a throwback. That's again like
talking.
I think.
When I agreed to do this show, I did not agree that we would talk my business on a show like this.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again.
No. The point I'm trying to say is that like
I'll never do it again.
The leopard print tattoo, man. That's what
twice
this is.
now
like,
today.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
That is
what other business did I talk?
Just go back to Boogie.
We'll move on. She can yell at me after.
This is every girl. Like this is like this is again, probably maybe not a quarter of relationships.
Everybody has gone to high school with 3 girls that look exactly like this.
Yeah, like
there's at least 3 girls that look exactly like this in
yeah.
your high school. Yeah,
dude, like this is
Yeah.
the kind of girl that like she's like a nerd, but also she smokes cigarettes at like 17 or like 16. Like she's already addicted.
her parents are
I
also really
started-
racist. Her parents have to be racist.
I started
Yeah.
smoking when I was 14, guys.
Oh Jesus! Oh Lord!
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, fuck.
Uh-huh.
yeah, but you had the more of the art. You were more artistic. This girl is like going to get into a fight.
Melanie,
This girl is going to get into a fight at like a.
you were
Buc-ee's.
you were diet goth. You were not this.
Yeah, this is a very different energy. This is like I said. This is if there was a peasant stock of the American Midwest. This is what the American Midwest peasant girl is.
Christ.
Is
almighty.
this. Also, can I just say,
200 years ago, somebody like this would have died of consumption.
no, this is a new thing. This is like it's incredible. But I will say, Boogie also lost all of his money in a crypto scheme.
Oh, of course. Of course. You know what? I'm mad. Here's the only thing. I'm mad that with like all of my financial know-how that I did not just fucking fleece people on crypto and NFTs. And I've said this so many times. If I had the correct evil energy, I would be so rich. It's just like I can't take advantage of people
The
like
problem
that.
is you had
But if I
to get
wanted
an
to,
NFT,
holy
yeah.
fuck, I would have taken all this man's money.
No, he also famously he bought a Tesla for like way more money than he
Well,
should
yeah, I
have.
rember that
got
over way over sticker price. Yeah.
Yeah, he got like and not even just over sticker price. He got an aggressively high interest auto loan on his Tesla, to the extent that like he did his finances the next day and was like, oh my god, there's no way I can pay for this. And it's like, dude, why
wouldn't you? At that time, he was already making money off of YouTube. Why wouldn't he have just bought it cash? Well, I mean, no. The question answers itself because he probably made really stupid financial decisions and couldn't. Never mind.
No, he was so he lost like all of his money. So she's not even dating him for the money. Like she's dating him for the love of the game. Or I guess he was saying like they work on their traumas together or something, which is like,
Oh god.
He might be the only guy.
God.
Which of us is gonna say it first? One of us has to say it. All right, it's gonna be me then. They
What?
trauma bonded.
Yeah, I get. I don't know what that is, but
No,
like,
that's not what trauma bonding is.
After
it's not real. It's fake.
No.
Don't. It's not a real thing.
Okay.
It's fake. Don't tell me.
No.
I live in a world without it. I will say he also just maybe he had to deal with like. Do you think she was like
Okay,
a
trauma bonding is real. It's just Stockholm.
No, it's not. It's fake. Shut up. Anyway, no. Like, do you think that she was like a ring girl at his match with like Wings of Redemption? Because he was also also
Jesus.
recently boxed another super fat guy in London.
Yeah.
That is a content creator, which is amazing. No, like this is awesome. I love it. I love this. This is classic. Again, this is what happens if you've been on YouTube too long. You know, you're either Jake Paul or you're this guy. And yeah, no, it was. This is great. I'm so like I said.
I think that on a long enough time, just the same way that like all life on Earth will eventually mutate into crabs. I think all life on Earth eventually becomes Boogie 288. I don't think it heads in the Jake Paul direction.
No,
Jake Paul has atavistic tendencies, I think.
They're just, I don't know. They're all.
He's outdoors too much.
They're all, yeah. They're, dude. All these people. It's like, dude.
Anyway,
Online culture is getting.
Online culture is fantastic. That's why we had to come back.
We need to have.
We gotta rebuild our audience though, because
we
holy
just
smokes.
couldn't stay away.
Yeah. We gotta rebuild the audience though, because
We need to go after the Rumble audience. That's the big thing.
Yeah, that's what we. Yeah, we'll talk
Not
about
really.
that soon.
Like, yeah.
No, we'll get on it. But I think that's good. It's 9 o'clock. I think it's time that we can wrap this up.
Yep.
But any last words before we go?
Nope. Not at all.
All right.
Stop pathologizing conflict. That's my last
Conflict
word.
is not abuse. Go read the book. If your boyfriend or
No, you're
girlfriend
you're telling people on Twitter to read anything but on an Instagram infographic.
Fair
Good
enough.
fucking luck with that one.
Okay, fine.
My-
If your
my last
boyfriend
word
or
would be-
girlfriend yells at you, is it a form of abuse? I don't know. Maybe. Here's the problem though. Everybody's fucking done it. All right. So just piss off. Grow thicker skin. Grow up. All right, y'all. I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Peace.
Good.
All right. Bye.